Hey guys, make sure you hit the bell icon next to my name so that you'll be notified for every upload that I make to hopefully never miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks! The tips, tricks, and advice that I'm giving in this series will probably not be helpful to everyone watching this series. What I've learned that's worked for me while being on Wattpad since 2012 might not work for you in the exact same way, so don't expect immediate success if you decide to follow or try my advice, because at the end of the day, what works for me might not work for you. And with that being said, let's start the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my new series where I'll be giving Wattpad writing advice, tips, and tricks that'll hopefully help you become a better and more successful writer here on Wattpad. If you haven't watched episode 1, the link is in the description box below, as well as the link for the entire playlist for this series. And if you're new to my channel and new to what I do, and this is your first video that you've come across from me, and you're seeking general writing advice, whether it's on or off Wattpad, this series might be up your alley. So stick around to find out more because we're about to get started. So the topic for this video is whether or not having good grammar and punctuation in your books on Wattpad actually matters, since Wattpad is one of these free-to-read sites. So personally for me, when I click on a book on Wattpad or anywhere for the first time, if I have to struggle to read through a crap ton of misspelled words and punctuation issues in like the first chapter or the prologue of the book, I don't really care anymore about why I clicked on the book in the first place. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to exit out of that book and move on to something else. Because one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to reading books, whether it's free or paid for, is when the person has bad, terrible, horrible grammar. Having a comma in the wrong place doesn't really trigger me as much when a person is using their or their, T-H-E-I-R or T-H-E-R-E, incorrectly in a sentence, for example. And yes, something like that is a simple mistake for many. We've all done it, I'm sure. But when that simple mistake is done repeatedly throughout various chapters inside your book, you've got yourself a problem, pretty much. And yeah, I get it. We're only talking about Wattpad here, so you're not getting paid to write your books, I'm assuming. So at the end of the day, who are you trying to impress? Especially if you do this for fun. So unless you're not trying to become the next Anatod or whatever and have your books blow up into the hottest thing to read online, then yeah, you don't have to worry about having flawless grammar. There's no need to lose any sleep over it, So don't stress about here doing this thing for fun. This video really isn't necessarily for you, so keep doing your thing. But if you're like me, a semi-perfectionist who's working my ass off to get noticed and hopefully get my books or one of my books picked up by a publisher, because who doesn't want to have their dreams come true and become the next best-selling author of blah blah blah. So if you're like me, then having close to perfect grammar and punctuation in your stories will matter at the end of the day. And while many can probably relate to this next statement, please know that I am not rich by any means, so I don't have the money to go out and hire an editor to look over everything that I write before I hit publish online. And even if I read over my stuff like 10 times, 20 times, there will still be something that I miss at the end of the day. Like, I've published things from like months ago and I go back and read it now and there's like little minimal errors that I missed. So one day I just got fed up with it, and I can't afford to pay for someone to read over my stuff, and as flawless as I want to get it, I can't do it on my own. So one day I took it upon myself to look into something that would help me basically clean up my work. And after doing a little bit of Googling, I came across these 2 sites, or I guess services you could say. They're called Grammarly and Ginger. They both offer free and paid services, and they basically scan your work and will point out all grammatical errors and punctuation errors, like you have a comma in the wrong place here, or you need a comma here, or you're missing an apostrophe for this, or you're using the wrong adjective here, or whatever. Neat little stuff like that. So I found them both very useful, but the one that I use the most, even to this day as I'm making this video, is Grammarly. And I will have a link in the description box for 2 short little videos that you can watch, which go over what Grammarly and Ginger are, and as well as all the services that they come with, because I don't want to go too far into detail with each of them and have this video be too long. So going back to Wattpad, while some readers might not care about you mixing up your and you are 15 times throughout one chapter, having good grammar at the end of the day in your books ultimately increases your chances when it comes to winning like Wattpad related events and stuff like contests, the Watties, sponsored contests by sponsors like H&M or Hulu, Netflix, things like that, because those companies are on Wattpad and they are looking for content from its creators. So you do have a chance of getting noticed on Wattpad. And so yeah, having good grammar ultimately increases your chances of getting noticed, because if you do happen to win one of these sponsored contests or whatever, then you have the chance of getting your book featured by Wattpad, the actual site, like on their homepage, and promoted by them, which in turn will give you a huge recognition boost on the site, and in the end get you tons of followers and support for your book. So, boom bam boom. So in short, your grammar and punctuation will play an important role in helping you get to where it is that you want to go, as far as making your quote-unquote dreams come true and getting noticed when it comes to being on these sites like Wattpad. So do your best, don't give up, because the road to success is never easy. As I always say, you're not going to get everything that you want in life overnight. You do got to work for it. So while it is a tiring thing to do, being a writer and being a perfectionist and wanting all your stuff to look good and whatever, it's going to be hard to get out there and make a name for yourself, but at the end of the day, it will be worth it once you actually get to what you want. So the bottom line for this video and topic, if you're doing this writing thing for fun on Wattpad, please don't stress out about having flawless grammar and punctuation in your stories, because honestly, not every person on Wattpad, it's like over 14 million users, not everybody cares about stuff like that. But on the other hand, if you're looking to make a career out of this writing thing, now's the time for when you need to buckle down and start to get serious about it. Invest in these free-to-use programs like Grammarly and Ginger, just to have an extra pair of eyes look over your work before you publish it, because having stories with minimal grammatical errors and punctuation errors will have readers flocking to your work and following you online. And I'm not just saying that, but I am speaking from experience. I went back to clean up some of my older books that I published on Wattpad, and after doing so, I did see an increase in readership, or if that's a word, I don't know. But I did see an increase in reads and stuff like that after I went back and edited everything. So editing does matter, especially if you're looking to get noticed by one of these big sponsors that work with Wattpad. So your editing does matter. In the next video, I'll be going over a writing technique of sorts called show versus tell, and why it's imperative that you show versus tell in your stories. And I will break down what that means and give you examples for what to do and what not to do. So stay tuned for that. But before I go, I just want to say thanks so much for watching this video. Thumbs up if you found it helpful in any way. Leave suggestions for what you want to see me go over in the future, and definitely subscribe for more videos. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you